This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. Getting close to Veterans Day. It doesn't matter when you're watching or hearing this podcast. We still support our veterans. We appreciate their service to our country. But also with that comes a lot of challenges in terms of what they may have gone through and how they pilot through that with a lot of mental and also physical challenges. We're going to talk about that today. And even though many of us haven't seen combat or been in those situations, a lot of the things that are connected to what veterans deal with in some regard, many of us also are challenged by. She helps many people, including veterans, move their lives forward. She also has a great nonprofit that also supports veterans in many ways. She is Jennifer Wolf, and she's back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Really good. You offer therapy. You've worked. Tell us. We skimmed it in the past, but let's go deeper into some of the things that you do and have done to support our veterans going through some challenges.
Yeah, so our a nonprofit is geared towards helping veterans who have significant combat trauma, PTSD, looking at ways to reintegrate into society, their families, civilian life, so many different things, which are a struggle that can often be overlooked. So my sole purpose starting out was to give veterans a safe place, no insurance involved. So if active duty needs to come, there's not that track mark of them having gotten the support that they ultimately need, because there is a stigma attached to that. So that was the ultimate goal, and it just evolved from there into families and children and seeing everybody around trauma. Trauma is one of my specialties, and I feel very strongly about it, because who doesn't have trauma?
We all do and have, whether we realize it or want to admit it, which we've talked about that. And we can get to that in a moment. So, did I hear this right that you started veteran focused and then it kind of branched off to families, children?
Correct. It was,
Wow.
it was, it spread pretty well. I had a lot of great support around me to help make the message get out there. So we ended up seeing anyone ages 5 and up, civilian, veteran, active duty, first responders. We've seen it all.
Mm. This hits home close for you personally, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
It-
Um, Many times we think of veterans, their mental challenges, and a lot of times we connect that to combat and PTSD. There's more going on there. And can you, and not that we're minimize anything, but that's over in one category over here. Have you worked with veterans who haven't been in active combat, but have challenges just from being in the military?
Absolutely. You being in the military is a lifestyle. It is not your typical, I get up, I go to work, and I come home. You are military 24/7.
Mm,
And the type of information, expectations are drilled in from the beginning. That toughness, that outer shell, that inability to share when times are tough, it creates weakness. And
mm.
if we create weakness, it breeds weakness. And one day you wake up and suddenly you're weak. And we all know that's just not the case. So it can be hard, regardless of combat time, to understand what daily life looks like and separate from the military. The military is their family, it is their lifestyle, it is everything they live and breathe. But then they get families and they have children, and so many different aspects play into that. And it's almost like we expect them to play two totally different roles, which is virtually impossible to shift on the fly like that.
I can't imagine. Let's say we'll focus on a man for a moment. You are somebody who you've got a level of empathy. That maybe you're not like the most rugged man on the planet. That would be me. Um, you know, um,
Okay.
and now you're thrust into this culture where it's very rigid. let's say you're very lax. That's, you live in the moment, you do your thing when you want to do your thing. And now, and there's a lot of good that comes from the discipline and the regimen and all of that. Um, but that can mess you up in a big way too, right?
Definitely. We can use my husband for an example. He didn't have a choice but to join the military. His mom just up and left him at age 16. And he lived in his car, finished school, worked at Target, and when he was old enough, went into the military. He didn't know what else to do with himself. As a result of that, the military was the only family he knew. And opening up, sharing thoughts, feelings, and emotions, letting loose, letting people in was very difficult for him. And through embrace with our family, he was able to make that shift into what family is all about and accepting people. But while he was a very calm, even keel, nothing rattled him. Nothing. He was the calm to my storm. So nothing got under his skin. But he did struggle with, I'm not okay. I'm fine. I got this.
Mm.
I can take care of this on my own. So he's a good example of that discipline that gets put in us. He needed the discipline. Who knows what would have happened without it?
Mm.
But it was hard for him to undiscipline. And he did. He did. But I would say it took a good 3 years before we started to see him understand why we need people and why we need family.
Wow. Wow. And that's what an example. I mean, self-sufficient, then had to be, then in that culture, really, of the
Mhm.
military, then you're out of that. Wow. What are some of the things that you hear from our veterans that you've helped them power through? Certainly, and maybe no particular order, but the PTSD, the active combat, can't even imagine, but I'm sure that's part of it.
A lot of the things are night terrors that we work through, what to do to try and calm our mind from that. They revisit night and day moments of combat that they have seen and witnessed and experienced, whether it's their own injury, whether it's somebody else's. And one of the things that we tend to forget is moral and spiritual injury, being expected to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do. And so we have to retrain them what fight or flight mode is, retrain them what is a danger and what is not. Everything is a danger to them after what they've been through. So heightened alert, that's where that hypervigilance comes in. They live in fight or flight mode. And again, we're just focusing on like the trickle down. So if we start at the top with the PTSD and combat, they will come home in fight or flight mode. Dogs barking, loud noises, big crowds, your kid is screaming. All of these things are activators for them, and they have to relearn to look around. I'm safe. Where am I right now? I'm in my home. Am I safe in my home? Yes, I'm safe in my home. Are my feet on the floor? Yes. I'm grounded. I'm okay. That was, your little Georgie over there screaming, playing, having fun. I like that. Okay, I'm calmer. They have to walk themselves through every single difficult event as they come back from those experiences.
Wow. Even if you haven't seen combat, I got to imagine you're on alert 24/7 for your superior walking in or being asked, all right, jog 4 miles. It's snowing. It's 14 degrees outside. Go now.
Mhm.
Like you're always on guard, if you will. And then you're also trained to be that way. That's the other part, the mentality that's instilled in you because it needs to be where you're ready for anything at any time. Never
Mhm.
saw it that way, Jen.
Yeah, they're on guard. They're supposed to be, like you
Yeah.
said, but how do you unguard?
Yeah.
It is the part they struggle with. It's almost like they become these really tough men and women a little bit easier than they become less tough and guarded. I think it's harder to undo than it is to do.
Well, fundamentally, even through evolution, we're wired to always be safe.
Mhm.
I always go back to, to the safety thing. And then, of course, there's fear, but that's their safety.
Mhm.
As you are prepared for any kind of combat situation, I'm on guard because I need to be safe. So now you're home, you're out of the military, you got to be safe. Where are you feeling safe?
Yeah,
It's rough.
it's very rough. They don't. Restaurants, bars, concerts, things that we would take for granted and just go to without thinking twice. Man, that's tough for them.
Mm. I have a friend that describes him.
Hmm.
Yeah. And he gravitated over toward alcohol at some point to deal with it. And even situations that present, his girlfriend had a stroke out of nowhere. And I'm talking he like in his low 40s. Um, and that messed him up. So the military, then that, and then he felt that her family wasn't taking care of her properly. So then he jumped in, and then she eventually passed. Like,
Oh, jeez.
lots going on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you work with veterans on all these different levels?
I think one of the best things that we offer is the animal therapy. So those who will typically not open up, hesitant to open up, they open up to the animals. We've seen a lot of growth around just spending time with them, sharing their secrets with them, and it's a very comfortable space for them, very freeing. But in the hard-hitting therapy, we have to start with understanding the difference between what is safety and what is not. They no longer understand that in some cases. And that's the place to start. What is safe? What does peace look like for you? What's going on when you're in peace?
Mm.
What does safe look like for you? What are things that you can sit down and say, man, I love doing this? Whether it's music, some people write music, play music, who knows? Going outdoors, going on hikes, whatever it is, helping them find the calm and the peace again in all of the chaos. That's the first start because they don't know what that is anymore.
How do they find peace in working with animals? And we want to find safety as well. Is it
Mhm.
just easier when let's say, a horse is introduced as part of the therapy? Is it more of a safer to trust an animal?
It is. Your
Mm.
secrets are not going anywhere. Your stories are safe there. You are allowed to be strong. You're allowed to be weak. They will accept you. They don't judge. They don't look at you as, oh, I thought you were supposed to be a tough guy. What's going on here? What's up with the tears? They don't do any of that. So it is a safe place. And just being, outside in a very natural environment can feel freeing for people as well. And the observations, especially because we have rescue animals who've been through so many different horrid things, for them to watch the herd interact or even interact with people, it gives them a sense of, look at the traumas they've been through. If they can succeed, I can too. So it's empowering.
I've never thought of it that way. Have you had an animal that's been through a trauma that now helps people that have been through traumas?
Absolutely. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. We have a couple who we're still working through their traumas. So we don't allow people to do a whole lot. They observe some of those animals because they can relate to why they behave the way that they do. So we do some, give them a chair and they sit down and observe those. But we have the vast majority, I would say 26 of the 30 we have here have overcome significant trauma. And they now are the ones who stand there with their heads down in front of you, pet me, love me, whatever you need. They are the ones we tell the story and people are blown away. Well, look at him now. Yeah, look at him now.
Mm. And on a small scale, I want to share this because I feel I should.
Mhm.
Um, Less than a year ago, I have two cats, both rescues. One's super mushy. One has always been a little standoffish.
Like cats are.
The super mushy one is a dog. I mean, it's amazing. Like I
Oh,
walk in, he's up on the counter. He'll put his paws up, like he's like, "Please hug me, hug me." He
oh my
drools.
gosh.
I'm blessed, super sweet. The
Yes.
other cat, 12 midnight, I hear my daughter scream, and I get out of bed. I run downstairs. That standoffish cat had gotten his tail caught in a folding snack table made out of wood. The cat was dragging it around the living room by its tail.
Oh my gosh.
So now I jump in and the cat's peeing all over because it's afraid. Now I'm trying to open the table without harming the tail anymore. Like I didn't even know. I'm like, I got to get this done in seconds. And I
Mhm.
reach over, and the cat, just like a snake, went and bit
Mhm.
me. Still have the scars. I understand it, why it happened. But I
Yes.
said, I got you. Give me a minute. I'm going to get you out of this. We're going to be okay. I carefully opened up the table. Um, and the cat's tail was bent for a little bit. Checked in with the vet. The vet said, we if it's broken, we can't do anything anyway.
Right.
The tail healed, but after that trauma, and I guess it had found safety in me,
Mhm.
it's a different cat now.
Oh my
From
God.
that day forward, it's mushy. It's still a little,
Sniffles.
if there's a loud noise, it'll run, or somebody is at the door until it knows. But I'll be walking down the stairs. It comes over. It's like, please pet me. In the morning, it's like on the counter, like, hello, I'm here. Like, wasn't doing that. My
Mhm.
point here is that was a trauma. It went
Mhm.
through the trauma. It realized that there is help here and I can be okay with it. And I
Mhm.
got to believe it's the same thing like a horse goes through a trauma. Um, and now it wants to get back. And side note to the whole story, those cats that I have were for healing purposes. I didn't just say I want to have a cat. There was an intentional reason I got them, and I'm blessed that they are what they are.
Yes. Aren't they something?
Yeah, all animals. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's
yeah.
incredible what animals do for us. I'm a firm believer that everybody needs an animal. Kids should grow up with animals. I'm huge on all of that stuff, but there's a lot of veterans who come here and will say, "This is the only place where I feel like I can breathe." I hear that a
Wow.
lot, a lot.
Wow. I got to think it's almost like it feels like you're on vacation for a veteran or anybody that does, goes into a pen with a horse and makes that connection. The horse hears them in a way,
Mhm.
feels them, sees them.
Mhm.
It's almost like you've been transported and now you're in a place of safety, healing, trust, and all of that, right?
Yes, yes. And we're removed from any cities, so people do kind of feel like they're on a staycation coming out here. We're buried
Hmm.
in trees. It's a little cooler up here, higher altitude, no city life. There's not cars going back and forth. So it's extremely peaceful.
I didn't even think of it in that way. I was just thinking more of walk into a
That too.
barn anywhere and
Yep.
there's a horse that is open to helping you heal.
Yep.
Um, what are some of the things that people have said, after they've had an experience with some of the animals?
A lot of it is just a recognition they didn't have before. They didn't realize how in need horses were or how poorly they were treated. It's looked at as, well, I thought that they, served us and did things for us, and in return we took care of them. So the need is usually pretty flooring. But for a lot of people who don't have any experience with horses, they're blown away by the connection they can have. A lot of them go in kind of scared. Well, that they're big. Is it going to bite me? I hear a lot of those things. Will I get kicked? And they realize how peaceful and gentle these gigantic things are. And regardless of what they've been through, how they will sit and listen and connect with you. They're shocked that a horse will, I guess, hang out with you when they technically could walk away. But they will. They'll hang out with you.
Do all horses have the ability to do this, but maybe some more than others because they've got things they've got to get over?
Yeah, some more than others. So I have the only horse I own that is like a purchase. He knows he's a purchase. He knows he's an expensive high-end Arabian, and he acts like it. Yeah, I'll come play with you. Maybe, maybe not. The rest of mine are rescues. Have the potential to be higher end. Some of them were never going to be. So they really don't care what they are, what they could have been, what their bloodlines are, if they're registered, not registered, all this stuff. They don't care. They will give back what was put into them. They will without a doubt pour into your cup in whatever way they do that.
Is it almost like humans, and there's no judgment here, but I'm going to kind of present this in words, where you came from nothing and now you have an appreciation for everything, whereby if you were born with a silver spoon in your diaper,
Hmm.
maybe that horse,
Hmm.
um, you have a different view of things.
It really is. It really is. And one of the things that I love to say when a rescue comes in is that you will never be hit, you will never be hungry, you will always have water, and you now have your own stall. It's one of the things that I love to tell them. And they don't know what that means then, but I like for them to know it will never be like that again.
Mm. Do you feel they know it?
They do. I have seen horses come in scared, running, freaking out. They settle in, you give them a little bit of food, a little bit of water, and you could see them kind of exhale. It's like, ugh, here I
Mm.
am.
I've heard from animal communicators, whether you believe it or not, I do.
I do too.
And they've gone into work with horses and they've told me, that horse that's crazy, jumping all over the place. They'll walk in and they've said, that horse knew I came in there to help them
Mhm.
and just picked up on the vibe and then was docile and let them, get close to the horse. And they just knew the horse knew they picked up on the vibration.
Yeah, they know when you're up to no good and when you're not. It's incredible. And I feel genuinely that in return, when our service members come out here, they say, people have given to me. What can I do for you?
Hmm. I don't know anybody doing what you're doing, for veterans, especially. No
Yeah.
one. There are people that have animals and they help people heal with them, and you do, but then now add veterans to it, and what a combination. We're talking about horses. What are some of the other animals that you have there that help?
We have, I know this sounds crazy. We have a goose. Um, most people are terrified of geese because they see the videos, being chased and stuff, and their wings out and they're coming after you. He's such a puppy, and people absolutely adore him. We have dogs, which it's so funny because some people will come out and play with the dogs. They don't have dogs. And so it's a big deal for them to see a dog. I don't know if they help, but we have chickens. They're cute. They're little pterodactyls running around, but I don't know if they help in any way. Maybe they put a smile on your face. We have a pig, we have ducks, we have mini horses, big horses. We've got all the things. So
You know, just the atmosphere has to be therapeutic in itself, right there.
I hope so.
You
That's my
know.
goal. I hope so.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, do you offer therapy? It's there. Can you offer that? Yeah, obviously not with the animals so much virtually.
Yes, yes. So there's certain things that I'm unable to do over state lines just because of licensure, but to offer like coaching, non-diagnosis type support, we can do virtually as well. And we've gotten pretty creative around using the horses through Zoom links and stuff. It's pretty incredible what we can do these days.
I believe it, but whether you want to look deeper into it or not, it's about energy, and you can feel that horse's energy even on a screen. Energy knows no time and space. It's the
Yeah.
same thing as when you say to somebody 5 states away, "Hey, positive vibes for your surgery. Hope it all good." You're sending energy, positive energy. Now have it come from a horse who has no judgment, who is picking up on your vibe, whether it's through a screen or not. What's your website, Jen?
It's destinationsequinetherapy.com. And from there, there's lots of different information about us, about the horses, about contacting us and seeing our videos, anything you want to do.
Destination is spelled Destinacions, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Beautiful. And by the way, if somebody's moved, you're a 501c3 organization, a
Yes.
nonprofit. If somebody wants to support in that way, it absolutely would be welcome.
It would be. It helps us see those veterans for free. So November's the month we really push for that. So
Love what you're doing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and we'll catch up next time.
sounds good. Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.